Good afternoon, Jason Phillips from Auto Appraise, March 9th, 2016. We're doing an inspection and a test drive on a 1969 Buick Grand Sport Convertible. Since we're up on a hoist, we're going to go through the underbody quickly and then move on to a test drive. For starters, the car is very, very solid underneath. It's got its original drain plugs and quarter panel splash pans all intact. The frame rails are in nice shape. There's some surface rust, as you can see, but it's not real heavy. You can actually dig it off with your fingernail. So it's not really corroded as much as stuff sometimes gets in Michigan. The frame rail extensions are real nice and straight. Does not look like the car's ever been hit in any kind of heavy collision force. You can see, again, the drain plugs over there as well. The bushings up here look real nice. They're originals. They're pancaked a little bit, as you would expect from a 69. Air shocks have been added to the original springs. I'll pop up the back end a little bit. There's new bleeders, so the brakes have been serviced. I don't see any leaks coming out of the bottoms of the backing plates. We tried to decode this axle housing, but there's some pitting on the surface, and we wire brushed a little bit and didn't have any success coming up with anything other than a casting number 375. I got to get my reading glasses on. We got a still of that. 1375889. Car's got aftermarket lower control arms on it. Original fuel lines and brake lines present all the way through the car, pretty much. Original clips. Frame looks like it's in real solid shape. Again, a lot of this would clean up with a wire brush. That level. Floor pans are really in the same situation. Surface rust, but no heavy rot or decay. They're very solid, just like that, all the way across. Cosmetically, they could use a couple days on a hoist with some cleaning and some Krylon rebuilding. Dual 2¼ inch Flowmaster system going all the way to the back. Aftermarket headers. Turbo 400 trans. We matched up the, didn't actually match them up yet, but I did record the numbers. We cleaned up there, thanks for the help. And we'll be able to match that against the VIN once we get the car back off the hoist. Original fluted brake drums up front. Front suspension looks equally nice. Original brake lines present. Ball joints are the original riveted ball joints, so odds are that the miles are going to be able to be reflected upon accurately. Spring helpers in the front. But the same scenario goes with the core support and the frame rail extensions up front. There's really no damage to speak of. You can't see any hook marks or pulls or any evidence of collision damage. Engine's been rebuilt. We drove it down here to this hoist, and it's hefty. It's got a nice little rump to it. Transmission seems to shift out good. We'll take another ride here in a minute and go through the car mechanically. Suspension seems to hold the road pretty good. Looks fairly original. Hang tight. We'll get her down. Last comment. I don't think I was made this for sure or not. We're looking into the daylight. But that's our passenger side axle tube on the back side facing the front of the car. And I think due to the pitting and the scale, that's why we wire brushed there a bit. Maybe this video will show something I can't see. It looks like the faint tracings of some numbers under those pits, but don't really see anything currently. Before we back her down off the hoist, we'll do a quick around the car from this perspective. The car's got a decent reflective quality from a short distance. If you can see from here, the paint's almost 30 years old on the car. It's got some lacquer checking throughout on the majority of the panels. Looks good from a distance, but up close you can see that, and we'll show you a little more out in the sun. We had to go through a real muddy driveway to get the car up on this hoist. Got original Buick rallies, original caps. They're a little bit aged in the centers. The chrome's in fairly nice shape. No heavy rust. And Tires are really in great shape. They had about 15-30 seconds of tread, front and rear. I would doubt they have more than a couple thousand miles. The rear bumper shows really nicely. The front bumper has got a few marks there, and we'll show you when we get it down on the ground. It's just in slightly in the center, but really hard to tell. The good news is that grill isn't broken. Those grills, those are like trying to find hen's teeth right there. You can't find them. T3 headlights across the front. A little closer inspection on this front bumper. It's kind of in just a little bit right here. And when it got smacked, you can see that there's a little bit of a wobble there in the lower core support along the front. These bumper bolts are mounted on the outside perimeter. These are not, and I don't know if there's a bracket missing there. I don't have anything to look at, but that fan shroud went back and it rubbed a little hole in the fan was probably rubbing and rubbed a little hole there. So this may require some repair. And this is zip tied back right now to put some tension on it so that it's not rubbing apparently.
No, it's been like this since I got it 9 years ago.
So apparently it's headed down the road good in 9 years. While we've been sitting here on the hoist for about a half an hour, there really hasn't been any fluids pouring out of the car or even dripping per se. Haven't seen anything. The driver's side of the car appears in similar fashion, a little less lacquer checking. All the trim's original, some minor patina present, but no rust holes in the wheel splashes. The tubs are in real nice shape. I know that lighting's not great, but some lacquer checking along that door again and some on this quarter panel. Wheel lips seem to fit pretty nice. Rear bumper, that thing fits spectacular and the chrome's in real nice shape. Just a little bit of copper showing up there, a little heat from the exhaust dumping too close when it's heading down the road. Lenses are in good shape. All right, enough of that, let's get her down. Back outside, here's what it looks like in the sunlight. The car's got a pretty decent reflective quality to it for an almost 30-year-old paint job. The body's got great magnetic adhesion. As you can see, I placed some magnets down low in all the money spots. And it's just like that all the way around the car. It's just got a lot of paint on it. 9 here in the back, 13.5 I read earlier, 16. I don't know if you can see that in the sunlight or not.